you chat?
Always.
Shalom.
Peace.
Hello.
Hello. That sounds nice. Should we meditate?
Why don't we take a deep breath all together? Starting the week on a high.
Yes. Ooh, let's do it. I don't think my Oura ring is good for me.
Really?
I mean, like, I'm keeping it because it was $500. But like,
I don't want to know.
I don't know if I need to know. Like, it almost is like a self-fulfilling, like, I'm so stressed, and then I look at the Oura ring and it tells me how stressed I am. And I'm like, am I supposed to know that?
Why don't you give it to your husband?
Well, no, I want to keep it.
Oh.
Because I like it for the other stuff. But I wonder if you can turn off features.
I think you probably can.
Like, I love it for the sleep. I love it for my readiness score. I love it for my activity.
I really don't like it when it doesn't track appropriately, though.
So annoying. It always thinks it's housework for me.
What are you doing?
Like, when I randomly will just like be walking around my house, it's not activity, but like I must be doing it in a hurried motion, mostly for work. It'll be like, are you doing housework? I'm like, no.
Okay, that's fine. Number one, I don't like that there's not a category for shopping. Like, it'll say track your activity, and you'll go to click on it and it'll be like cycling, jogging.
It's nice to know that those things are similar.
And I'm like, I was shopping.
That's interesting.
There's no shopping category, so that's one. Number two, I don't like when it doesn't track your sleep right. Like when it's like, it took you a long time to fall asleep last night. I'm like, no, I fell asleep with my phone in my hand. Like, I was asleep.
I haven't noticed that. That's interesting. I wonder why it's not, if there's something you're doing that's not picking it up.
It's my fault, not the ring.
I don't mean to blame you. I'm not a victim blamer. I'm just saying, like, I wonder if there's something that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I had a particularly stressful week at work last week, and every day I would look and it was like all stress time, not restorative. And I was like, now I feel more stressed.
That's like, my husband recently started tracking his sleep with an app. An app that I've been tracking my sleep with for the last
100 years.
Yeah, 15 years. And
I'm sorry, what are you going to do with that data?
I look at it.
Oh, okay.
And I know.
That's why you used to like now want me to sleep in your bed. You'd be like, it's going to mess up my sleep data.
Yeah, I can't share my bed.
Well, that clearly was a lie.
They have partners now.
Oh, in 2012 it didn't.
The app has advanced.
It's evolved. Okay.
You'd be like, why can't I just fall asleep here? I'm so tired. Be like, get out.
You'd be like, it's gonna mess with my sleep data.
My sleep score. Yeah, he's recently started doing this, and he doesn't want to know if he doesn't get a good night of sleep. Like, he was on a business trip, and I was like, how was your sleep score when you were in wherever? And he was like, oh, I didn't look because I know I'm not going to get a good night of sleep like when I'm not sleeping at home. And I was like, but don't you want to know? And he was like, I don't want to know if I don't get a good night of sleep. Oh, good. I didn't get a good night of sleep, and now I'm going to feel like shit all day.
But then what is the point of tracking if you only want to know when it's good?
Exactly. I want to know both. And then it gives it a reason. Like, maybe you're feeling sluggish, or maybe you're like, I need like an extra shot of espresso in my coffee this morning because I didn't get a great night of sleep. Like, you use that data to your advantage. You don't let it bog you down.
Maybe that's what I should be doing about the stress.
Yeah, like if your thing's telling you that you're really stressed, and you're like, okay, I need to take more meditative breaks.
I tried 15 minutes on Friday. I tried 15 minutes. I turned on my meditation app.
What's a meditation app?
Well,
like
it's just like
where you think about.
It plays like frequencies that are like relieving to anxiety and stress.
Oh, and
it's actually very relaxing when I do it.
It worked.
It didn't track as restorative time.
Oh, okay.
So that was pretty annoying.
That's extremely annoying.
Enough about me. How are you?
Well, enough about me. I am great. It's been a while since we recorded.
I know we took Memorial Day off.
As you should.
To honor. It is kind of a crazy holiday when you think about it. Like, it's to honor all of the people who have died defending this country, which is such a beautiful sacrifice, and we celebrate it with like pool days and cookouts.
Because it's very American.
I know, but I just like always feel a little bad. Like, people post like, today makes me think of my great grandpa who was on Omaha Beach, or like stormed the beaches at Normandy, and then it's like, see you at the pool. Like shouldn't we go to their like graves or something?
Well, maybe they do that too
I hope they
on their
do.
way to the pool.
I hope if they're floaties.
I don't know if I'm alone in that sometimes I forget the actual point of the holiday.
No, I think that's extremely American.
Like, I'm like, oh, and we don't have work? And then when people are like waving the American flag, I'm like, they're feeling patriotic.
Why is that? Why on this Monday, sir?
Yeah. But then I'm like, oh, it's for... And Labor Day is the same or no?
I actually don't know what Labor Day is for. That's even a bigger problem.
What do other countries do if they don't have holidays to like benchmark their summers?
They have different like bank holidays. Oh, interesting. Labor Day is in Canada also. It is the holiday of the working people.
Oh, fuck yeah. Now that's something I can get behind.
Now that feels like a barbecue day.
I love when like work will send out an email that's like, with Memorial Day coming up on May, blah, 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 we want everyone to enjoy the day off and spend it with your families instead of thinking about work. It's like, this is a government holiday. You are not doing us a favor.
What's funnier about that is like the private sector, I had calls on Memorial Day.
Because they're all off.
My clients are like, oh, we're all off on Monday. Could you meet? I'm like, I guess.
You're like, no, I'm off.
I'm Memorial Day.
Do we have any major things that happened since our break?
I ended up being amazing at dominoes.
Yes, you learned how to play dominoes.
And I'm good at it, which makes me like it infinitely more.
Did you order your own set?
I didn't. I'm glad you reminded me, but I've been telling people how much I love dominoes, and I do give them the disclaimer it's because I won, and I think that colors my experience.
Yeah.
Like if I had lost all those games, you'd never hear me talk about
You
dominoes
did
again.
lose most of the games.
No, we played one night, and I lost that overall game.
Oh, we're talking overall.
No, like we lost. I didn't win any, and I lost that night.
Uh-huh.
And then the next night, I thought about my strategy. Everyone was mocking me, but I thought about my strategy the next day. I won 2 rounds and ultimately won the whole shebang.
Just to catch everyone up, we were out of town for Memorial Day weekend, and one of the nights we brought out a few games, and one of those games was dominoes, because I've had a domino set. I don't know who gave one to us, but like I've had one. And my mother-in-law plays dominoes with her friends like every week or something. And sometimes we play with my in-laws, and it can be a very heated competition. It's,
It's a fun game.
it's a fun game. So I was like packing a couple games to bring on this trip, and I was like, oh my gosh, I should bring dominoes. Like maybe everyone would want to learn how to play. My husband could probably teach them. I'm like, new to the world. And there was a bit of a learning curve. Everyone got on board, and you just ran with it. We played until like
It was late.
the wee hours of the night, and then the next morning you of course came into my room and were laying in my bed and said, now I've been thinking about my domino strategy.
I knew I didn't play it to my best strengths.
Well,
the
it was
night
your
before,
first time playing ever,
but I thought about it.
and you've thought about it since?
I've thought about it since.
Wow,
I could be a dominoes player.
you are.
Yeah, you're right.
You already are.
Think, believe, receive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun.
That's a major life update.
I
Absolutely.
needed people to know.
Mm-hmm.
Add that to my bio. Should I add that to my Instagram?
Domino Diva?
Domino Diva. Yeah.
Please do.
So that's pretty much the biggest update that happened in everyone's absence.
Oh, and my sister-in-law's baby shower.
Right. Okay, so that it's dominoes and then a real close second.
Yes. We had a baby shower. It was lovely. Celebratory.
Pics are beautiful.
No, it was really nice. Love to celebrate. I was thinking about it because you know how most Jewish people don't have baby showers?
See.
Like, before I knew non-Jewish people, I didn't think about a baby shower. And so it didn't seem like something I would be missing. And
Oh, it's a missed opportunity.
I kind of I think maybe not for the mom. Maybe. I just think like it's nice to have a little gathering after the baby's born, but like you don't want to get up and get ready for that as the mom.
For sure. And I also
Like a sip and see.
a sip and see is so cute, but I think it like implies that like one, you're gonna want to get out the door. The other thing I don't like, which I'm always thinking about, is like then you're supposed to bring the baby, and now I have my like pretty newborn in a room of 50 people.
How do you know your newborn's gonna be pretty?
No, like fairly pretty as a synonym for fairly,
Oh,
because I don't know when the sip and see is.
Oh, I was like
But
presumptuous.
I know.
Now I have this pretty newborn.
Pretty in both ways.
Okay.
In a room of like 40 or 50 strangers. And like people are always going to want to hold the baby. I don't love that. I'm not one of those psychopaths who's like, people can't hold my baby. But I also want it to be like people who have washed their hands and I'm sure have not been hacking up a lung recently.
Yeah.
And I just think a sip and see environment is like a little chaotic.
No, I know. Like I don't want to get my ass out the door 2 weeks after having a baby or like a month after having. Plus it's nice to get all the stuff, like the gifts that people get you, then it gets you prepared for the baby to come.
And then also I think I was just talking to someone about this. Their mother-in-law felt weird inviting her friends to a baby shower because the mother-to-be's brother was getting married in like 3 weeks after the baby shower. So for some reason, she felt bad, like they'd gone to a bridal shower for her soon-to-be daughter-in-law. They were going to a wedding. She was like, I don't want to like dray the cup on my friends. So she didn't invite that many of her friends to the baby shower. And the girl was like, it was fine. It was no big deal. But then after the baby was born, people forget about the registry. So now they still feel obligated to send you gifts.
Yes.
But they're just monogram blankets.
Random shit.
Like she was like, I got so many monogram blankets or like initial things when my registry still had stuff. But like once the shower's over, people are not
the link, people.
People are not going back. So I also think you get more intentional gifts when it's a baby shower.
Yes, I agree. You really get to go through, pick what you want. This is exactly it, etc. It's tough when people go off script.
Always wrong.
And if you want to go off script and get me like a gift card, great.
That's acceptable.
That is acceptable. But like, I took the time to go through and curate a list of things. And then you went and got this random ass.
And I have kind of a hot take on baby registries. If you want to go off script on the wedding registry, annoying, but like it's a different platter. I'll live. For baby stuff, especially in today's world, people are like diligently researching.
Yes.
And like this is what they feel comfortable using
how
for
it's
their
made,
baby.
where it's made,
They feel
chemicals, materials.
Like, oh, I don't want this material, or I don't like that this is treated with this. So like I feel weird going off script on a baby shower because like I don't want to give you something that you don't feel like is safe or good for your baby.
Agreed.
I can return the platter, but like baby showers stick to the script.
Yes. No, yeah. I don't know if Jews feel like they're missing out by not having a baby shower, but like it's just not even culturally something you think about.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's nice to celebrate like a baby.
It's so nice. And I think it's important because it's when you have the most time to celebrate the baby. There's no baby yet.
Right.
Fun fact about me, I arrived so prematurely. I arrived before my baby shower was scheduled for. So they had to push mine to a sip and see, which my mom was supposed to have a shower, but it was scheduled for like a week after I was born.
Wow.
And so they pushed it again. So my mom got gypped.
So you were at your own.
I was at my own shower, but it got pushed to like end of March. I was born in January.
When did you come home from the hospital though?
I think like beginning of February. So then I think my mom was like, we're not having a baby
You
shower.
were extremely preemie.
I was a preemie.
Did they think you were going to last or no?
Yeah, I don't think there was like concerns. It was just like how long I was going to have to stay in the NICU.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I hate having sleepovers. And my first experience was like an extended sleepover.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why. I was like, I know I have a house.
Get me home.
Like, why am I here? The lights are so harsh.
Yeah. I'm in this plastic cage.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it is a lovely thing. I don't know what's right or wrong, shower or no shower.
It's neither. I think if you're not going to have a shower for whatever reason, I just hope your friends are like still looking at your registry.
Oh, you still register?
Yeah, people still register.
Oh, because people are going to get you a gift.
Like, people are going to want to get you a gift. So like, and I've even had friends who are Jewish who like they never say I have a registry, but like their parents or whoever will be like, oh, if you want to get them a gift, like for after they have a registry.
Yeah. That makes it easy then. I don't want to think about what you might want for your baby.
I just want to click.
Yeah.
I want to show you how much I care and I want to click.
Agreed. So those were the 2 major updates from the last week.
Yeah, so we've had an adventurous couple of weeks. Okay, so I have an icebreaker that I've asked you before in our real lives, but I've been alerted to more of them recently. This is not a criticism because we love these shows, but what is a television show that you deeply love, but you know it so much that you've noticed inaccuracies?
So
I will tell you. Friends drives me fucking nuts that we never see Ben, Ross's son, again.
I know.
Why is he not at Emma's first birthday party? I just watched that episode.
Because he was on Sweet Life of Zach and Cody probably
but
then.
Continuity, people. Continuity.
Yeah, there's a lot. And like they change the actress who plays
Carol.
Yes.
That one doesn't bug me as much.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like the first season and that always happens. Like someone gets on a show.
Yeah.
But like, that's actually the thing. If they had changed the actor, I could have looked beyond it. If like whatever Zach or Cody, is that the other one's name? No, what's his real name?
Those are not their real names.
Yeah, what are their real names? Dylan and something Sprouse. Cole. I don't know which one played Ben. I don't really care. If those 2 were booked, but they got a similar looking, kids evolve, a similar looking blonde kid to be at the birthday party, I'd have been fine. It's that he never showed up again.
I personally wasn't that invested in Ben. I think he was doing Big Daddy. His career blew up.
Sure. Blondes are a dime a dozen. You can't tell me you couldn't find another blonde 7-year-old boy.
There is a lot of continuity in Friends, but I think when you're binge watching, you realize that.
Do you have one that you've noticed that bugs you in the world of binge watching, which we didn't have in the late 90s, early 2000s?
I'm surprised you didn't say Gilmore Girls. You've seen that 1,000 times.
They actually did a pretty good job with continuity.
Really?
There's very few things that are not like airtight.
The things about Gilmore Girls that I know don't bother you, but they bother me is like the goofy, stupid storylines, like with Kirk and the dance teacher.
Oh, Miss Patty?
I don't care about that.
I love them. They're part of the town.
I know. You like, yeah.
The only thing that ever bugs me is when it's very clear that Amy Sherman Palladino leaves Gilmore Girls. And so just season. The show is like a different vibe. The writing's not as good, but like still the continuity's there. And this was purposeful. This is so niche, but in one of the seasons, Lorelai's grandma dies.
And you never even meet the grandma.
Yeah, you do. Gran.
Oh.
She dies. The same actress plays in other episodes her aunt.
Dead.
And then so at her funeral is the actress like in a wig and different makeup.
That's funny.
Is at Gran's funeral, but it's the same actress.
They should have like poked fun at it and been like, you look so much like my grandma.
Yeah, they didn't really. But that part was like not a big deal.
I feel like you don't we don't get enough out of Christopher.
Oh, Christopher. Yeah.
So yeah, like that stuff I could have used more from like their whole lives. Like I don't need to see Kirk, but we won't get too in the weeds on that. I would agree Friends has like loopholes, but
I can look past them.
Yeah, they don't bother me.
I love it so much.
Like our husbands just went and saw
Mission
Impossible, and Mike was like, it wasn't the best movie. Like he was like, it was like, you know, fun to see like an action movie like that in the theaters, but you know, the story was kind of lacking. And I was like, so it sucked? And he was like, no, it was still like enjoyable. And I was like, I can't enjoy something where the story is lacking.
I can. I need fluff.
You do.
You're
watch fluff
Hallmark.
only.
Yeah, I need fluff.
You're like, give me the fluff.
I'm going to take us on kind of an offshoot. When Tyler got home, we were talking about the movie. It made me think about how...
You were awake when they got home?
Well, no. When he came in, I woke up.
Oh.
Obviously.
Okay.
I'd been asleep for 2 hours.
I was like, okay.
I'd been asleep for
it was midnight?
2 solid hours.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't even wake up to the dogs barking, which was crazy. I woke up, which made me realize that like if someone broke into our home while he wasn't home...
Big trouble.
Dead. But I woke up when he was getting into bed and I was like, how's the movie? Whatever. So it made me think about how Scientology is still raging. Tom Cruise is the biggest Scientologist. And the leader of Scientology, David Miscavige's wife, has still not been seen in years. And we're all just pretending we don't care.
Is that true?
Yes.
Who's David Miscavige's wife?
Shelley Miscavige.
Sally Miscavige.
And she's not been seen in so long.
Wow.
And it's really upsetting.
Well, that's not what you want to hear.
Like, she's being held against her will, probably. And he's off shooting Mission Impossible.
No, David Miscavige isn't shooting shit.
I understand, but Tom Cruise is. And you know how we get to Shelley Miscavige? We stop giving Tom Cruise work.
I think David Miscavige is probably gay. And
Yeah.
Tom.
Probably.
Not
And
that-
John Travolta. The whole gang.
I just think, like, not that there's anything wrong with being gay, obviously. I was going to say more that, like, if you, like, people who have to, like, you know, sell their soul, you probably don't like your soul. I'm actually personally connected to my soul.
I'm thinking of keeping it.
And these people are like, I will give everything to this other thing that will help me to have a better life. And it's like leaving your old whatever life self in the dust.
I also think part of it is fear. Like, they find these people at their, like, most vulnerable. They're trying to make it in Hollywood. They're trying to provide for their family. They don't have the tools to, like, ward off these motherfuckers. And so they get into this cycle that, like, this is the only thing that can save me.
Unless, like, you're raised in it, you know, like Elizabeth Moss. I know. It's
No, I
crazy.
don't.
She was born into it, though.
But, like, that's at a certain point. Like, if you're born into the mob, at a certain point you have to realize that killing people is wrong. If you're born into Scientology and you can kind of see that the people who are in the Sea Org are, like, miserable and not being treated well.
I don't think they see that, though. Sorry to say.
She's not seen a documentary.
I don't think so.
Her and Leah Remini have never put cross paths.
But now, wouldn't that be something?
That's what I'm saying.
Get them both on Watch What Happens Live.
Oh my God. I just got to chill.
I don't know if I've talked about that on this podcast, but that lives rent free in my mind. Leah Remini and Jennifer Lopez not being friends anymore.
Something happened and we'll never know.
Something happened. You and I saw that movie that
Yeah,
they did together.
They were
and it
so,
was so
cute. And they were best friends.
After Ben Affleck, straight down the tubes. And they have since to reconcile, and they've been friends like their entire lives.
Like 20 years.
And we'll never know.
Yeah. It's one of the great secrets of the universe.
Much like going clear.
Not a secret, a scam. Speaking of scamsters.
Yeah.
Did you see that the Chrisleys got pardoned?
I did. Are they scammers?
Here's
Is that why
the
they were in
thing.
prison?
I still like them. Like, I thought their show was so funny. It's
Me
hard.
too.
It's hard for me now because they're obviously very MAGA, and, like, they were convicted of tax evasion, quite a bit of it. But I did feel like they got kind of harsh sentences.
But it's not like they were like scamming old people out of money.
No, but they weren't paying their taxes in Teresa Giudice style.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Yeah. So in 2022, they were convicted of tax evasion and fraud, falsifying documents, not paying taxes. If you're going to do that, you can't go on a reality show. No bueno. It starts to raise some red flags when you're not paying your taxes and you're living in a mansion.
What? How do you just not pay your taxes? It's not optional. If it was, we'd all be like, no, thank you.
But you're doing it of your free will. Like, you file them every year.
But then if you don't, they come and say, hey, you haven't paid us yet.
So obviously they're doing some, like, crazy shit where they're falsifying documents. They're like fucking with their income, putting things under, like, shell companies.
So why were they pardoned then if they...
Because Donald Trump is a nut job.
He loves Todd Chrisley.
Savannah was really their daughter. They have two kids who were, like, really with the charge, and Savannah's, like, the primary one. She had a podcast.
No, they have more than two kids.
No, two kids who were very involved.
Oh,
they're
who?
estranged from the oldest.
Right.
Their granddaughter they're raising, so Chloe. Savannah, then she has a younger brother.
Chase.
Yeah, Chase and Savannah were the ones who were really doing it.
Okay.
Gray is, like, the younger one. And I was kind of happy that they got released. I just felt like, They did.
No, not for him, because I think he's the one in charge of everything. Her, I feel bad for. I also felt bad for Teresa. Like, these women are not leading the charge.
I think Teresa actually was leading the charge more than people think.
Oh,
of
I
the
don't.
Teresa Joe.
I don't.
So how come her and Louis are having the same issues? There's one common denominator.
Has that been proven?
It's pretty obvious. People are like putting out documents.
Just to catch everyone up on, if you don't know what we're talking about.
You don't know the Real Housewives?
If you don't know the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Teresa Giudice is an original housewife, and her husband Joe, her ex-husband Joe, were also convicted of tax
evasion. Fraud, yeah.
Yes. And she has said a number of times that, like, obviously she signed her signatures on all this paperwork, but like she wasn't actually reading the paperwork. Like, Joe was just like, hey, you have to sign this form for our taxes. Hey, you have to blah, 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 blah. Which I do have to say, maybe shamelessly, I also do. Like, Michael be like, hey, can you sign this form? And I sign it without reading it.
Yes.
Because my husband has read it and is asking me to sign it. So
for
I trust
sure.
him.
I've signed things like when we were buying our house that Tyler was like, hey, that's why I did feel bad for her. But then when you get into the weeds, like, there are some companies, and there's been like, I've seen videos on Instagram Reels, whatever, where some of the companies were actually in her name that she had to go get the paperwork for. Like, it wasn't so blind leading.
But I mean, she seems like actually I don't like her, so I don't think she seems like a sweet woman, but I think she is dumb and was probably like, oh, I just got to go do this.
For sure. But I think both of us have enough.
Oh my God, Louis.
I think we both have enough common sense, though, that like maybe not our husbands, because they wouldn't do this.
Yes, you and I do. I don't think she does.
But if your husband or anyone is like, I need you to go in here, take this document. It says you own a cleaning company. You don't. You know that.
But haven't you seen her and Joe argue on some of those old episodes? Like, if she was like, Joe, what's this for? He would have been like,
just sign it.
Yeah, he would have been like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah.
Sign it.
Yeah. I don't know. I was all team like poor Teresa, poor Teresa, poor Teresa.
I'm not poor Teresa. I just really feel like
but
she
now
got
her
looped
and
into that.
Her and Louis are having some financial issues.
Well, he's fucking crazy.
He's a shady motherfucker.
I actually think Julie Chrisley is much smarter than Teresa. I did see that Trump said that it says Trump teases potential pardon for Diddy if he's convicted.
That was so stupid. Now I hate Donald Trump. I want to say that very clearly, but that's not really what he said.
Right.
Like, he basically said no one's asked. I don't think anyone wants to ask. If they did ask, I would look at it, which is nuts in and of itself.
Yeah, agreed. I don't feel like they should just be totally like absolved of this.
Right, like, you were criminals, but now you're done.
But
do you think they feel really like? No, they don't. They don't feel embarrassed. Like, they're in talks for a new TV show at Lifetime.
I don't think they feel embarrassed. I feel like Todd specifically feels like fulfilled because he was probably hooking up left and right in prison.
Oh my God.
That man is gay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Your dad is gay. What's that from?
Girls.
Yeah.
Love that show. I just don't understand the two of them.
Because one of them is gay.
Because
and the other one is a sweet woman.
Yes. Who like seems like she's able to see things with her eyes.
Yeah. And he can't see anything because his eyes have been so Botox to shit.
I wonder what he'll look like now that he didn't get Botox in 2 years.
It didn't look like his face fell that much, which means like filler has just burned itself into his cheeks. Yeah. There was photos released the other day.
But Savannah's happy. I like Savannah. Good for them. I do like them.
Julie, the photos that came out of Julie looked like a worn woman. Oh, have you seen?
No.
Oh, I have a screenshot.
Let me see.
I must show you. This is Julie coming out of prison.
Oh my God, that is sobering.
Half of her hair is gray, which obviously her roots grew out. The bottom half is brown. It's just two colors we're not used to seeing on her at all because she used to be blonde.
Oh my.
This doesn't even look like her. She looks like she's aged 15 years.
She looks terrible.
Now let me show you a picture of Todd.
He looks the same. He looks like he's been cryogenically, is that what it's called?
Is that not the face of someone who has been getting butt fucked happily for the last couple of years?
No.
They're shopping together at the mall, and he's holding 2 shopping bags. Julie Chrisley can barely stand on her own 2 feet.
Is she at the mall?
She's not at the mall. No, because she's trying to recover from this trauma. And Todd is like all smiles is what I'll say.
I would climb into bed and not get out for 4 days.
Him and Savannah goofing around, smiling. They're at Nordstrom.
I'm surprised. I know the kids were splitting up to pick them up. I'm surprised that Savannah went to him. I would have thought she would have gone to her mom. Because one was in Florida and one was in Kentucky.
Oh, we just went straight to Nordstrom. They got out of prison and went right to Nordstrom.
Can I tell you of all the places I would go shopping?
Julie went right under her bed.
Nordstrom is not what it used to be. I wonder if he found that out when he went there. Like, that is
like, oh my God, this place is really gone downhill.
Like, I would not be running there.
Nordstrom has gone downhill, and Bloomingdale's has turned into Bloomies and just turned into a tiny little kiosk of what it used to be.
It's like Build-A-Bear. Like, it literally.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
The fact that Build-A-Bear is a kiosk at the mall when it used to be its own amazing store.
Let me just say, when we found that out, you, me, and our friend Gabby were at the mall walking around. We walk by a tiny pagoda of Build-A-Bear. And I go, oh my God. I turn to the 2 of you, not loudly. I go, oh my God, Build-A-Bear's really gone downhill. It used to be like a fucking factory store.
Like a real store.
And I was like, and now it's just this tiny little hut. And the woman working at said hut goes, excuse me, we're doing fine, thank you.
That was insane. I was like, do you own Build-A-Bear?
Yeah,
Like,
what do you care?
Yeah.
Yeah, Gabby was not pleased with me.
She was none too pleased.
I didn't scream it. It was like, and she heard me because no one was there buying any bears. She was just standing there waiting, listening to what passerbyers are saying.
I loved Build-A-Bear as a kid.
So did I.
The concept is great. I don't know what happened.
Make your own stuffed animal.
We even made one in high school. All my friends and I,
weird.
all my friends from high school and I went and made a bear to match. And all held on to the hearts.
And that's what happened. And then they closed. They were like, and now we only have weird high schoolers coming in.
They were like, things have gone down.
What happened to that bear? I never
know.
even saw it in college. You didn't even bring it with you.
Well, I did.
Must have meant a lot to you.
No, I did bring it freshman year. I don't know what happened after that. Well, the friend group kind of quit. I didn't need the bear staring at me. Like, where are the rest of us?
Super dead.
The bear's like, are we ever going to see them again? I'm like,
What about my heart pals?
but honestly, it was unrealistic. We went to high school with a group of 10 friends. Like, come on.
We're not all going to be here.
We aren't all going to jive
at the end of the day.
for the duration.
Yeah, Build-A-Bear has
Seen better days.
seen better days, and so has most retail.
And the Chrisleys. Well, actually, they've seen their pretty good day.
Not Todd. I want to clarify.
He looks good.
That man is fresh-faced and fancy-free.
Anywho's.
In other crime-related news, I have to talk about Karen Reed.
Oh, yes, you do.
I'm not going to give it away.
I think there's like 6 people in America who don't know what's going on, but sure.
Do you know the story behind it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think give people the background in a condensed and chipper way.
Okay. John O'Keefe, a beloved...
Oh, we have names. Okay.
Oh, I am so in. I follow a reporter who...
Is there?
I don't want to give anything away.
Okay, so John O'Keefe. Sorry to interrupt.
John O'Keefe is like a beloved cop in Canton, Massachusetts, which is a suburb of Boston. Known for... And Boston cops are known for being a little...
Rough around the edges.
rough, yes. Make their own rules type. Kind of like Boston priests.
Well,
If you saw Spotlight.
neither here nor there.
It's just kind of like anyone's game over there in Boston, apparently. So, but John O'Keefe actually was like what seemed like a well-liked guy. He grew up in the community. His sister,
Passed away.
yes, got diagnosed with cancer when she was like young and had 2 young kids, and then died. And then like a month later, maybe her husband died. And so he was left with a niece and nephew who had no parents, and he adopted them as like a single guy. And obviously like the community rallied around him. Cops are all very like,
Unified.
yes, like we'll help, etc. And so he was just like a well-liked dude. Well, he grew up with Karen Reed. Like they knew each other in high school or something. And they, I think, dated kind of like on and off. It didn't work out. Then during COVID, they reconnected, started really dating. They'd been dating for a few years, and they went out to a bar. There's supposed to be like this big blizzard, which apparently doesn't stop anyone from doing anything in this town.
Not in Boston.
No. There's supposed to be a huge blizzard, and so like everyone was like, should we stay in? Should we go out? These people drink like it's insane. Like it's, I don't think they even think about it being alcoholism, but like crazy.
A lot of drinking.
Yes. So big blizzard is coming. They all go to a bar. John, Karen, some cops' wives, some of their friends, they're drinking at this bar. A bar they go to all the time. It's getting late. They're like, okay, let's go home. And someone's like, oh, you should come back to Brian Albert's house. He's another cop from Canton. He's having people over. Like there's already people back at his house because he has kids who are adults and they have some friends over. So it's like, come for afties. So Karen's like, I don't really want to go for afties. Like, I think she didn't really like Brian Albert, but
Neither here nor there.
right. And John's like, let's just go for a little. And she's like, okay, fine. They get in the car, drive there drunk. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he drove there. And then they pull up to the house. They're looking at the house. According to Karen, she's like, the house is like dark. Like she's like, we've beat everyone here, apparently. And it's like a 2-mile drive from the bar, like a very short ride. So she's looking like, and it's a blizzard. So they're like looking to see like, is anyone inside? They're calling. Hey, are you guys here? No one's answering. So he's like, I'm going to run inside and see what the deal is. And she's like, yeah, if no one's there, then let's just go home. He gets out of the car, runs inside. She sees him run up to the house. She's sitting on her phone, like music is playing, whatever. It's been a couple minutes. She doesn't hear from him. So she texts him like, hey, what's going on? Doesn't hear back. Starts to call him. Nothing. Not answering. She's been outside the house now for like 15 minutes. And she's like, what the fuck? Now she's pissed because she's assuming like he went in there, started drinking with his buddies, and like is not even looking at his phone, and she's sitting out here in a blizzard. So she's leaving him messages like, what the fuck, John, you fucking pervert? Like
Pissed.
Really pissed. She leaves. Like she says on her message, I'm going home. Like, you're an asshole. Goes back to his house.
Which, not criminal, but I think is insane. Like if I dropped Tyler or you or anyone off at a house and I didn't know they got inside okay, I like watch you go in the middle of the summer.
I don't think everyone's like that, though.
Well, they should be. This is a PSA. Okay. Continue.
Well, she's also drunk, mind
right.
you.
Right.
No one's working
right
at
mind.
full capacity here. So she goes back to his house. I don't know if his kids were home or not, but like she goes to sleep in the living room because she's like, I'll just lay on the couch and wait for him to come home, so that she can ream his ass out when he walks in the door. She falls asleep on his couch at like, 2:30 a.m. 5 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up and she's like, is he still not home? Like looks upstairs. He hasn't walked in. Now she's panicked because she's like, I haven't heard from him and
he's missing.
Like, is he there? So she calls one of the girls they were at the bar with, Jen, who had invited them to after hours. And she's like, I haven't heard from him. Like, have you talked to him? And she's like, no, I'm sure he's still at the house. Like, so she's like, I have to go find him. So Karen gets back in her car, goes to pick up Jen and another one of their friends they were out with. And she's like, let's go look for him. Like, now I'm worried. What if he is hurt somewhere? They're back at the house where she had dropped him off, Brian Albert's house, another cop looking around outside the house, and they find John like laying in the snow, dead.
And that is where all the drama begins.
And that's where the drama begins. And so obviously you can infer that Karen Reed is being tried for his murder.
Which is crazy because originally I was like, she did it.
Oh, not me.
Like
1 second into this, I was like,
originally,
this bitch did not do it.
like originally before I knew all the facts. Now I don't think she did it. I don't even know how the fuck they see themselves out of this case though. Like there's so much corruption and like lying and like, I don't know. I really don't know who did it. And I don't know why they did it. That's the crazier part.
Yes. So we won't give anything away. We'll give everyone a good week to watch A Body in the Snow.
1 week. Myself
On
included. Ugh.
HBO Max. So yeah, you have 1 week to watch. If you have not watched by next week, then we're going to be discussing and it'll be spoiled.
And you need to turn it off at that point because no one hates spoilers more than you.
Me personally?
Yes. Like,
I hate spoilers.
We'll make big announcements.
Hate spoilers.
Hate.
We will say spoilers ahead.
And then it's on you. Unless you want it to be spoiled.
Kind of a legal heavy episode, but I did want to say Emily Kaiser.
The influencer.
Yes. Social media influencer. I actually didn't know who she was because, as you all know, I'm not on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And just like that type of influencing, like people who like
lifestyle influencing.
Yeah, vlog their whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, get ready with me. Help me make breakfast. Like, I don't care at all.
It's kind of a dream though. Like they just live their normal lives and monetize it.
I don't think it's as nice as it seems.
Really? Okay.
Because like, I don't know, just imagine being like in your everyday life and then being like, oh, I didn't get that on camera and having to go back, or thinking always about like
how it looks,
having to document something that happened, or like how something looks. It's like you can really never live in the moment.
Oh, that's my new goal. Yeah, you're right. Bad.
It sounds horrible. So yeah, I didn't know who she was, but she's an influencer who lives in Arizona, who has a son with her husband, and she was like building this house and documenting the home building process and all that. And they moved into this house, I think, in like December. She has a toddler and she just had a baby like a couple months ago, both boys. And a couple weeks ago, her toddler drowned in their pool.
So horrible.
And the news started sort of coming out because like she hadn't posted in a while. So then people were obviously like, I hope everything's okay with Emily Kaiser. Like when someone posts every single
second,
day,
yeah,
then you're like concerned. And people are like, did something happen to her son? Like, you know,
They
speculating.
Find out. Yeah.
And so it did come out that he had drowned in their pool. And it's so crazy because for people who were following along, like they watched them build that pool.
Pools are so fucking dangerous.
I knew you were going to go there.
No, she did nothing wrong. I'm going to be so clear. Like I saw people being like, how do you let this happen? It's obviously a horrendous accident. Pools are so dangerous. I can't say this enough. People are so lax around pools with little kids. Terrifying.
I don't know if people are lax.
I think I was like traumatized because I was a camp counselor many moons ago and a kid drowned at the pool. And it was horrible. Like a kid wasn't being watched by the group he was with.
I remember that.
And they cleared the whole pool and I had like all these kids with me and they were freaked out. And it was just so horrible. And it's like, it can happen so fast. Like little kids can drown in a pool so quickly.
So anyway, really horrible. No one really knows obviously what happened. Was it like he slipped into the pool and they found him at the bottom? Was it like he was, because there's that like silent drowning thing.
Yeah.
Where like water's very dangerous. They say you shouldn't even like look for a second to leave your kid in the bathtub, which is so true. Like there have been times where Jack's been in the bath, especially when you're doing a bath by yourself, and like he can sit up totally fine on his own and you get up to go grab the towel. Next thing you know, he's slipped.
Yeah.
Like not head underwater, but like what? How'd you slip?
And they get so quickly like frazzled.
Yes.
Like that's the worst part of drowning is that they always say even with adults, like if you feel like you're drowning, you should not panic, which like, I'm drowning.
Yeah, let me just float to the bottom.
Oh, let me be calm.
Mm-hmm.
And so they get panicked. And then the more panicked they are, they're exerting energy and they like don't know how to like orient themselves.
I know. So
Oh, I'm so sorry for her.
we don't know what happened. We don't need to know what happened, but the story just came out that she filed a lawsuit to keep the records about her 3-year-old's death private. In Maricopa County, which is a
Wow.
popular county on Live PD.
Yes, Maricopa County.
2 weeks after he died, social media influencers' lawyers said that her and her family want to grieve in private, but the public will not let them. Oh, he was found unconscious after being pulled from a backyard pool. So he was in the pool. So sad.
And people are so fucking insensitive. Like the fact that she even has to make those records private.
Well, this is what I was going to say. The lawsuit says that 100 public record requests have been filed with the city of Chandler and the Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office for access to public records related to Trig Kaiser's death.
Like, what do you care?
Why do you need the records?
It's so gross. It's
like there is a special level in hell for you.
I'm rewatching The Good Place, and it is like very interesting, like observations it makes about the world. And it's like at one point, no spoilers, at one point they're basically being like, the earth sucks too much. Like we've made it so difficult to be a good person because there's so much bullshit. And they're like, well, should we restart it? And I was like, you know what? We have really mucked it up down here.
We really have.
Like the first thing you hear when someone's child passes away is you need to put in a request for the public record to do what with?
Disgusting.
Like you're a piece of shit.
At the end of the day, this woman lost her son.
Ugh.
I know, horrible, but it is scary drowning.
No, I'm afraid of it.
For yourself?
In general, I'm always nervous when kids are by pools. Like pools make me so nervous.
They say that like you're really not supposed to teach your kid how to swim with floaties on because it's a false sense of security.
Yes, I've heard that.
But like, then you have to sign them up for like ISR, which is like infant rescue something or other, where they just kind of throw them into the pool.
And they like learn how to swim. It's wild. I've seen videos.
Yeah. And we did not do that, but like most other toddlers, Jack wears floaties.
No, I don't think the floaties are bad. I just think you have to watch your kid. Like,
yeah.
It's only
It's not like because they have floaties that you could just like be like, okay, have fun in the pool.
But like when I was little, my family was looking for a new house and there was a house that they loved, but it was on a pond.
Your first house though had a pool.
My first house had a pool, but it was an above ground pool. My grandpa was always adamant that above ground pools were safer because kids can't fall in them.
Okay.
Like you have to like go up a flight of stairs. But so we were looking at this house. I don't remember this, but there was a pond in the back, and my mom always said like everyone loved the house. But my grandpa was like, "There's no fucking way I'm living in this house with a 3-year-old and a pond like 20 feet from the back door." He was
You
like,
weren't that adventurous or naturey though.
no, but it happens.
Can you imagine you go out there?
I didn't even want to leave my bed.
No, that's not you.
But I just mean you don't know. Like it happens so quickly.
No, totally. So
Heed this warning.
so sad. Yeah. And also, I don't know, squeeze your kids tight.
Yeah. Do you have a daily dilemma?
I do have a dilemma.
Great.
I'll do a dilemma that's kind of somewhat related.
Hmm.
Parenting kids.
Okay.
This girl wrote and said, what would you guys do if your sister-in-law doesn't put her 3-year-old in a car seat? She writes, she's the 3-year-old, is 36 pounds on a good day. She lets her sit in the middle seat with just a normal seatbelt in the back, not in the front seat. But we've told her 1,000 times this is illegal and extremely dangerous, and she doesn't care. They do have a car seat, but just out of convenience to make it quicker, a lot of times she'll just tell her to buckle up in the back seat.
I'd call the police.
So wait. She goes, she's not extremely careless in a million other ways, but of course there are some times where like the kid will be running with scissors or something and she won't. She's not a helicopter parent by any means, apparently.
Not getting that vibe.
And so she's like, I'm worried for the safety of my niece here.
As you should be.
But she has, my sister-in-law has told me a million times, like, I'm the parent. Thank you for the feedback. And she's like, I have told my husband I want to call the non-emergency hotline when I know that they're going to be driving.
Oh.
She said they're really a loving family aside from the lack of care for their safety in this type of situations, it's just bonkers to me. I don't want her to get in like major trouble.
But unfortunately, that's like the first step when someone's doing something. Now, first of all, I want to be so clear because I actually hate
seatbelts.
No. I hate parents commenting on other parents.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Like, I don't care what you gave your kid to eat. I don't care which school you like. Shh, we don't care.
Shh.
But when it comes to safety, that's like a different thing. First, you go to them and you say, I think this is unsafe. She doesn't respond. Then you try again. You say, okay, I know this is unsafe and it's illegal. They still don't change. You have your husband talk to her. They still don't change. At a certain point, it's like if I found out you were leaving Jack home alone at 5.
Can you imagine what he would do?
He would freak out. I would be like, I don't have a choice. Like, I've talked to you so many times.
If I go upstairs while he playing follows. And he just doesn't realize that I've gone upstairs, and then like I'll say, Jack, I'm going to run upstairs. And then like he's not listening, and then he realizes he's down there by himself. I'll hear him start to be like, Mommy? Like, I can't get away for 1 second. Leave him alone.
But I'm just saying, like, as a different example, like you can't, there's a difference between you guys having different parenting philosophies and then being so negligent. And it's not even like she could be the best driver in America. She goes through a green light, someone T-bones her. Like, there's so much outside of her control. And
you would call the police on your sister-in-law?
For sure.
Oh.
Anonymously, but
you.
Anonymously. For that. Not for a billion other things.
But then how do they even find that? They go to her house and they say like,
no,
she has a car seat.
No, I'd just be like, I think I just looked in a car. It's a white Ford Explorer. It looks to me like there's a little kid just sitting in there.
Not in a car seat.
Not in the car seat.
Yeah, I mean, that's the right thing to do. I don't know if I could. I think I would be like, I am thinking about calling the police. Like, I would warn her.
And she'll be really affected.
You don't think? But then if you warn her and she really doesn't, then I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm calling the police.
Well, then she knows it's you.
Oh. She's gonna know it's you.
Definitely not. Randomly is driving and gets pulled over. How could I have done that? I'm not a queen of the universe. Because that's the sort of thing that has to be in action. Like, you can't call the police like and look into it.
So you just pull some anonymous shit.
Because that is so dangerous for little kids. Like, there's parenting choices that you can be like, I don't really agree with that. And then there's
I don't know why you're feeding your child a vegan diet, but
yeah, but go off, queen. Like, I can't stop you.
No, I don't want anyone to comment on other people's parenting when it's something
benign.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do it behind their back.
Inconsequential.
Like, talk about them behind their back.
All the live long day.
Please do, but don't bring it to their doorstep.
And we will talk about it behind their back.
That is insane to not put your kid in a car seat.
A 3-year-old.
They not see the demonstrations?
What sort of demonstrations?
There's like videos about like kid in car seat, kid not in car seat.
Oh, like Honda commercials?
Yeah.
Apparently not. Maybe she should send her one of those, and then if it doesn't land, call the police, I guess.
And you're an idiot if that's like what you're doing. How can she even like her sister-in-law? This woman should be shipped off.
This is a huge leap. You're like, why isn't she at Rikers?
I hate this woman because that is such an easy fix. Like, and here's the other thing that makes me irate. There are women out there who would love to have a car seat. There's actually a whole nonprofit around like getting women who do not like, you know how car seats expire? I read about this nonprofit that like kind of tries to like look the other way on expired car seats because an expired car seat is better than no car seat. And like giving them to women who can't afford them.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a car seat and can afford it and won't put your kid in it.
Well, maybe she should share that with that. There's this, maybe just bring up in casual conversation, like there's this whole nonprofit because it's so important that kids are in car seats.
She saw a video not that long ago about a cop who pulled a woman over who didn't have a car seat for her child. And he pulled over for something else and she started crying and she was like, I know this is so dangerous. I can't afford one. Like, I'm saving up, whatever. And he didn't write her a ticket and went and bought her a car seat and a bunch of stuff for the baby and brought it to her house.
And the child wasn't in a car seat?
The child was not in the car seat when he pulled her over.
Well, that's really nice.
And then like her sister like videoed him. Like, he didn't say anything about it. He just came to the house later in the day. He had her license from the traffic stop. and came back and like rang the doorbell and had like a car seat and like stuff for the baby.
Just like random acts of kindness. I actually just listened to a
So
thing about
nice.
random acts of kindness. This family, like this couple, they had 2 kids, like 3 and 1, and the guy's mom got diagnosed with cancer, and at the same time his dad got diagnosed with dementia.
Oh God.
And they were like, we want to take care of our parents, but we have like these 2 young kids. And so they were looking for a house to buy that their parents could move into with them.
Yeah.
His parents
Yeah.
could move into with them. So that they could take care of them together. And they found this amazing house. Like, it was perfect. It had like a full like ensuite on the first floor, like literally made for them, this house. And it was like $100,000 over their budget, but they put in an offer that was like,
Please.
yeah, $50,000, whatever. And it got denied. And they were like, it's fine. Like, we'll go back to the drawing board. We'll keep looking. And then a week later, they got a notification that their offer had been accepted, the original offer. And they bought the house, they closed, etc. And when all of the paperwork came through for taxes a year later, their realtor made up the difference.
I'm going to cry.
Isn't that nice?
That's so nice. Be nicer.
Just like, and then like they reached out and were like, what the heck? Like, we thought that they lowered it. And he was like, no, they weren't going to. And I talked to them and like, they just, weren't, but I know how perfect this house was for you guys. And we were on like, we'd looked at a bunch of houses and you guys just deserve the world. Like, you're taking care of his parents. And he didn't even tell them.
Oh, be nicer, people.
Like, that is nice.
I need to be nicer too.
Yeah, you do. I'm nice already.
Oh, uh-huh.
Work on that this
I think
week.
we could both work on things.
Okay.
But you are very nice.
I'm nicer than you for sure.
You think you're nicer than me?
Yes.
To who?
Everyone.
To everyone? You can't see me right now. My eyes are bulging out of my head.
I'm more thoughtful.
Oh, that's somehow better? Was that your clarification?
Yeah.
You're more thoughtful.
Like, you're like more bubbly. That doesn't equal nice.
I am nice.
No. You are nice, but you're like on the forefront nice.
Uh-huh. But I'm not it's not backed up by anything authentic.
It depends who.
This is actually mean. The irony.
In a conversation about being nice.
You're being mean. I'm thoughtful. I'll do things that for anyone I love. I'm not justifying this.
But you could be nicer.
We all could be, was what I was saying.
Okay.
Oh, God. That took a turn. I was just trying to lift people's spirits up.
They're lifted.
Not mine.
We're all going to try and be a little
Everyone's
nicer.
lifted. I'm lower.
And you're sitting here thinking about how you can be nicer.
No, I'm thinking about how, yeah, I gotta go.
All right. Call you later.
Bye later. Love you.
Love
Bye.
you. Bye.